Hey there, friends, family, and loved ones all. I want to go over a subject that's in my latest book, One World, One America, second volume, because it's not being widely disseminated in the truth community about the antiquitech of crystals. And some of you remember the movie Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. What is that about? So this gets back to the Lemurians and the Atlantean Antiquitech, Lemurian giants. Crystal skulls are amplifiers and generators of energy and also store information like computers. A new crystal skull is much like a new computer. It is only imprinted with basic programs of the energetic properties where the stone is carved from. It also has also absorbed energies from the carver and from anyone who has handled it. They can be imprinted with energy simply by contact. They have legends about the crystal skulls. Native American Cherokee medicine man is quoted as saying, quote, "The skulls were kept inside a pyramid in a formation of tremendous power known as the Ark." Hey, Covenant of the Ark? The Ark was comprised of 12 skulls from each of the sacred planets, kept in a circle, with the 13th skull, the largest, placed in the center of this formation. This 13th skull represents the collective consciousness of all the worlds. Wait a minute. Collective consciousness of all the worlds. I thought that was ChatGPT. Connects up the knowledge of all sacred planets. Pueblo spiritual advisor, quote, "The crystal skulls are complete depositories of knowledge, and each skull contains a particular specialist area of information like a living library." How cool is that? So one of the most famous skulls in the world, Indiana Jones, are referring to from British explorer F.A. Mitchell Hedges. The crystal skull was originally called the Skull of Dun after an associate on the exhibitions. It was later called the Skull of Doom, supposedly to ward off possible malintentioned encounters. Somewhat controversial, the fact remains that the Mitchell Hedges crystal skull is true so-called out-of-place artifact. So the skull weighs over 11 pounds and made from a block of clear quartz the size of a human cranium, measures 5 inches by 7 inches and 5 inches wide. So the Lemurians had healing crystals. They had seed crystals. And what I want to refer you to is the placement of the crystals. But first, let me show you this. Superman memory crystals. Coin-sized silvers or glass that can store up to 360 terabytes of data for billions of years. Storage device is nicknamed the Superman memory crystals and consists of nanoscale dots embedded by a laser in the layers of quartz. The dots encode data in 5-dimensional sizes, size, orientation, and 3D placement. The technique was first demonstrated in 2013 when researchers used to record 300 kilobyte text files. So also it is memory crystal version of documents, Declaration of Human Rights, optics, and the King James Bible. The crystals are stable up to 1,000 degrees temperature, and they could theoretically last for 14 billion years. Look at the size of that, the Holy Bible on the size of a crystal right there. The technique uses femtosecond laser pulses to write data on the 3D structure quartz at the nanoscale. The changes in the structure can be read by interrogating the sample with another pulse of light and recording the orientation of waves after they passed through. So, there's Superman in a cave of crystals buried 300 meters below the Earth's surface inside gigantic crystals can weigh science fiction fictions of 36 feet. Some of the heaviest crystals are estimated to weigh up to 55 tons. Yeah, right. You gonna say there was this bigger crystals than Superman? Yeah, I am. Check this out. Look at these size crystals, folks. This is Crystal Cave in Mexico, has the largest crystals in the world, over 60 feet tall, embedded into the earth. Why are these crystals embedded into the earth? Because the ancient teachings show us that the Mayan interdimensional star map shows crystal earth. We are here. And here's our father, our mothers, and this is the Kabbalah. And the Kabbalah translates west to east as well as east to west. So harvesting crystal energies under the earth, and the earth was made to magnify the crystals of the galactic crystal hologram. So this is the Mayan interdimensional chart, as above, so below. So the crystal chart reflects to our 7 sacred chakras as well. Some of the oldest known rocks on the planet have quartz in them. They're about 3.8 billion years old. I remember debunked the whole carbon dating methods in the beginning of the book here. So crystals can be used in many benevolent ways and means. Each is part of an oath. They include physical and emotional healing, rejuvenation, sound and music, meditation, libraries, creation of higher energy fields, weather control. You don't think the military has all this. And then the Atlanteans, remember we do Lemurians and Atlanteans. The Atlantean fire crystals are a hybrid form brought to Earth by a race who started the civilization of Atlantis. Remember, this glass contains all knowledge. Today, 800 years or so after magic died, they only attribute this colored glass at magnetic frequency modulation. What is Earth magnetic? So it's speaking Earth's language. The Lemurian seed crystals are forms of quartz crystals that are believed to contain the records of lost civilizations. But whether these beliefs are true or not, these particular crystals have demonstrated unique energies that are very valuable, particularly in today's world. These crystals have yin elemental energies that have been found to facilitate communications with certain types of beings of higher energy levels, diagnoses of chakra imbalances, and in bringing the water element to areas in need of energy in homes and rooms. While completely different crystals, they share many similarities and uses. What is not understood is that the record keepers contain tremendous water element energy and therefore extremely yin. Each Atlantean record keeper crystal seems to have so much more water element energy that it needs some balance to survive. The Atlanteans had a knowledge of hyperdimensional quantum physics and understood that counter-rotating specific magnetic fields around the cylindrical crystals created toroidal waves. They had perfected the ability to apply crystalline ovid shields effects around crystalline structures. What's the ovid? The feminine Pisces. Mineral and gold to create various generating units of hyperdimensional divergent energy fields. What is termed the Ark of the Covenant is among the capacitor devices capable of being portable generators of this and other forms of energy. So this is what they're talking about, the Ark of the Covenant, folks. Hello! There are indeed many units of what your legends from the Ark of the Covenant. Both the earth and indeed mankind are experiencing a long-awaited awakening. This metamorphosis includes global warming, quote, modification of myriad environmental phenomena that are quickening around you. A key aspect of new crystalline age is a purposed clarion call to the crystalline and mineral kingdoms of the earth to increase the flow of energy that it receives from the inner core of the earth. The fire crystal is the ultimate battery. Anybody talk about crystals and batteries? So spinning inside each silica magnets with a gold cup accumulator could power a city. A single 2-inch fire crystal spinning inside silica magnets with a gold cup accumulator could power an entire city. We can be charged up with a stronger battery energy source. We can do magic. We can be healed with a DC in a multiple ways, such as simple holding battery leads or taking a bioelectric field enhancement electrical bath. To add a crystal in the days when magic was alive, when conditioned to metals and thus also projected and received energy fields from our terminal hands and thus conditioning the auric or our auric field as well. Taking this further, only the most exalted member of the state was allowed to wear a crystal on a band of a precious metals of the crown chakra and hold a crystal-studded scepter, wand, rod, and staff to comfort one through the valley of death. These items of adornment once had real, tangible purposes and were only worn by those who knew the secrets of their construction and usage and had the insights and intuition abilities to lead the tribe. The great crystal, as Edward Cayce referred to them, were not originally from Earth, whereas all the other gemstones were mined on Earth. The fire crystals had several unique qualities. They could be grown like flowers are today, said Cayce, as they're a living life form. As an organic life, they have a double lattice as their matrix structure, similar to our own double helix in our life force Dan essence. They are a solid life form that can only be communicated to mentally. They are a solid life form that can only be communicated mentally. And just like humans who can be taught to bend spoons by mental energy, or biomagnetism, where you can heal people with your own intention and energy, the fire crystals can assist the projection of this mental energy if commanded to do so by the user. Nika's Cave of Crystals is an unlikely magical discovery buried 300 meters below the Earth's surface inside gigantic crystals that weigh up to 55 tons. 3 Atlantean wisdom and healing crystals once beamed magnificent light and celestial energy in the Temple of Healing, the Temple of One, and the Temple of Knowledge on Poseida were placed on dimensional lock on the Atlantean crystalline fields of Arkansas. Indeed, he's now energized the golden sun disk placed in Arkansas and alive with the 12 patterns of the same throughout the planet, and with the paradigm of the 12 crystal skulls in the sacred 13 patterns. Crystal shards provide phenomenal longevity with the ability to extend an individual's lifespan almost 500 times the average human. So I can get into more here, but you're getting the gist, and I can share this with all of you in my PDF here I'll attach. And just in closing, I mean, this is another huge story that isn't being disseminated very much or very well, in my opinion. Radiocarbon dating is bullshit. Total and absolute BS. They made it all up. And now they're saying, oh, some of the numbers we're using are not working out right, and they could be off by hundreds, if not thousands of years. New research conducted by Cornell has destroyed archaeological past history and dating, showing that there are a number of inaccuracies in commonly accepted carbon dating standards. Throughout history, radiocarbon dating has been used by geologists, astronomers, historians to tell how old everything is. Guess what? It doesn't work. It never has. It's all BS. Okay? They're proving it over and over again that radiocarbon dating, examining rocks for allegedly thousands of years, is not accurate. It doesn't work. So here's history being debunked, all of history being debunked using carbon dating. Commonly accepted radiocarbon dating standards missed the mark. 2018, inaccuracies in carbon dating. How accurate is carbon dating? All right. So this is in my book, and I also go through, we've had free energy forever. This is the Jarja handle, the great African slave trade. Again, please get this out, because this is another huge BS. So to take the transatlantic slave trade, according to them, 4.25 million African slaves were shipped to Brazil and Mexico on boats. That comes out to 43,750 trips. We break it down further. Each of those 40,000 one-way trips took 2 months. That's 80,000 trips a month, or 6,666 years of collective time travel, or 12,000 plus years round trip. This means they would have had to build 40,000 boats if it took 3 to 5 years to build a single large cargo ship. With a 3-year average build time, it would have taken 120,000 years to build 40,000 boats. Even if it took 1 year to build a ship, that's still 40,000 years. So according, 15 ships transferred 90,000, 100,000 slaves. That's the official story. That's a long way from the 15 to 20 million supposedly brought over to America, one America, before it was broken down. So that's another thing we need to debunk, is the whole slave trade came over from Africa, you're blacks, and then they also took out 1,000 years of history. That's another thing we need to get in there. They just eliminated 1,000 years of history. So our real history is 1,200. 1222 right now. And the great African whitewash, again, taking out just 1,000 years. And this has been done before. It's not like it's new. Remember when they brought in the Gregorian calendar and got rid of the moon calendar, right? And they just eliminated 2 weeks. Hey, we're going to come up with a new calendar. We're coming up with new dates. It's so accurate. Science is proving 365 days and 1/4, because our math is so good, of the Earth spinning around one time around the sun, going 1,000 miles a second around the sun. Yes, We're traveling so fast, but we don't feel a thing, and the stars are still in the same place all the time. So they've eliminated calendars. Italian Renaissance was only spoken by 2.5% of the population when they wrote their Italian Renaissance. Nobody spoke Italian. Hey, Renaissance Italian. No, nobody speaks it. It's okay. They'll get it later. And here's the Vatican with all their secret archives. What are they hiding? Why don't they disclose it? They take one of their Picassos or their Rembrandts and they sell it, and they can solve hunger problems, no problem. And then again, the horse and buggy story. Are you kidding me? Look at this column being moved, okay, by a horse and buggy. You're telling me in all these structures? Think about that pillar right there, how those guys are having to do it, the structure, the wood platforms, and how they built all this. How they built all this. How they built all this. They didn't. And again, the crystals had all the memory, so they could access the memory of how to do this of our four ancestors. Not our forefathers, our foremothers. Mothers, women are the only ones that breed spiritual beings into earth. The only ones. Anyway, so I get into this more and more, but you get the idea. And this is from my book published a couple months ago, One World, One America, Tartarian Antiquitech and Lemurian Giants. I'll put this in the show notes. Please enjoy and share. And if you want personal copies, send me an email, and you can also buy it on Amazon if you wish. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your sharing. Thank you for your caring. Love one another.